one of you is going to replicate what I'm about to do yourself. So I have some data in here that I actually built from a news article. There was a news article I read some years ago about bee loss by state. And so the article had these numbers in there in a table. I turned it into an Excel spreadsheet. And the reason I did that is I wanted to be able to use it to build data interactives with. So I wanted to take this, what was static data, basically an infographic, and have it be a little more interactive than that. I'm going to show you a couple different ways to take this really simple 2-column data set and make it an interactive data set, where if you hover over stuff, it previews things. It's got some movement to it, some color to it. So anyway, I have this data set that I built. And what I'm going to do is go through some steps, watch closely, because I want one of you to replicate these steps. So there's a link, again, in this document and files to googlemaps.com. It's google.com/maps/D for developer. This is the Maps developer tool. So I'm going to click there and open a Google map. And what it does is it opens Google Developer Maps, My Maps area. And I'm going to hit this tab in the upper left corner and click Create New Map. It'll default to a US map. All right, I have a US map. What I'm going to do is take my bee data and I'm going to apply it to this map. And again, I want one of you to do this with the restaurant data. In just a minute, I'm going to talk you through it, but I'm hoping somebody will share their screen and walk through it. I'm going to import data. So let me go over here to the left. I've got my new map. Again, google.com/maps/D. Pretty simple link. Any data that has location data in an Excel spreadsheet will work in here. A couple kinds of location data. The one I'm about to import just has state names. Google Maps will operate off state names. It knows where to find Ohio, Massachusetts, Oklahoma. The other thing you can use is specific street addresses. So I'm going to hit import, and I have a couple of options. I can upload a data set from my computer, but I don't even have to because I'm working in Google Maps. So I can go to Google Drive. I'm going to go to Google Drive, and I'll get to that folder, which is, I've got a shared multimedia, this one, that's it. Go to my folder and data lecture. So in here, I have my bee loss data. So let me click there. There's a squirrel like 3 feet away from me that looks completely fearless, which is pretty funny. So if the squirrel makes an appearance, you'll know why. Okay, I'm going to select that data, and it's going to ask me 2 questions. Again, this was data in my Google Drive. The data you're about to use is in Google Drive. So the first question is, which column should I use for location? Well, this is pretty obvious. I'm going to use the state column for location. So let me click state and continue. And then what do you want to call these things? Which column do you want to use for title? So I'll put the bee loss percentage here. I'm going to click finish and watch what this does. And it puts these indicators over the states. Now, if I hover over one of these, I'm going to get bee loss data for that state. So Missouri, 34%, Colorado, 38%. There's a better way to do this that I'm going to show you in a minute. But just like that, we've got an interactive map. It kind of looks like the infographic that I built this from, but there's a little more interactivity. Anyway, an interesting story that we told with Google Maps. Again, there's a better way to tell this with this data, and I'll show you what that is in a few minutes. But do I have a volunteer to try to replicate this with the restaurant data? Perfect. So we'll start there. Do you have access to that shared drive where you guys were entering your, where you were typing in your restaurants? Look for shared with me. So click on shared with me. So import shared with me, and it should be, I don't know how many are in there. Oh, there it is.
There we go.
And then select. And the first question is going to be, which one do we want to use for location? So pick a column for location.
It'd be this one, right? The address?
Exactly. And then continue. It's probably only going to ask one more question.
Yeah, choose a column to title your markers.
Perfect. So we'll go with name.
All right, then.
Zoom is lagging behind, but he's looking at the interactive map. So this is pretty cool.
Okay.
Now you can click on one of those dots or even hover over, but I think if you click on one of those dots, it'll show the restaurant. So it'll give you the name and the address. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? All right, we're gonna do one more. We're gonna do one more thing with this. Nice job, Zach. So hover to the left, you'll see all items 11. Just hover over that line. And to the right, there's a dropper. See that little dropper icon? So click there. And I love this. We can change what that marker is. So right now it's this just generic location dropper. Do you see like a knife and a fork there?
Yeah.
So click the knife and the fork and then do it again and we'll pick a different color.
Oh yeah, it's still
maroon or something.
I think that's maroon.
Close enough.
It's close enough, yeah.
So there we go. We have an interactive map of the restaurants that you all put into an Excel spreadsheet. Just like that, you built a Google interactive map. You built your own data set. You can go share that too. I'll show you with mine. So now what I can do is if I want to share that, I can hit the share icon. I can click up here. Where is it? Embed on my site. So I can copy a link or I can just hit embed on my site and I can get, let me make it public and give it a title. Okay, so what I did is I gave it a title and I clicked share and turned on link sharing to make it public. Now I can click here and get embed code and stick this in my WordPress page on our class website or on your personal website, or I can just click share and get a link to share it and stick it on a site or share it on social media, or I can even share it back to Google Drive and let people who have access to my Google Drive folder go use it. So a really useful tool, a really quick, easy way to build an interactive data set with your own data